Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. I'm going to give you some big news in relation to Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk. Now, according to recent reports, Liverpool Football Club have been warned that Virgil van Dijk could leave to either join Barcelona or Real Madrid. Now, this is stemming from Paul Ince, is this story. He says, Liverpool could struggle to keep Virgil van Dijk, despite, that he's been instrumental, to their success since his arrival from Southampton back in January 2018. Of course, Liverpool did pay £75 million for Virgil van Dijk. Of course, he is their most expensive signing, and he is the second most expensive centre-half in the world. Now, I don't see any main explanations why Virgil van Dijk would want to leave Liverpool. Of course, if Liverpool were even tempted to selling Virgil van Dijk, it'd cost Real Madrid or Barcelona at least £150 million, maybe even more than that, because he's now worth more than the £75 million that Liverpool did pay for him. Now, as you all know, Barcelona did business with Liverpool back in January 2018. They did get Philippe Coutinho for around £142 million. Philippe Coutinho did enjoy a good 5 years with Liverpool. Now, come to look at you know, Philippe Coutinho will probably, regret leaving Liverpool. But I think Coutinho is like the third most expensive player in the world, behind Neymar and Mbappe. So I don't see, Virgil van Dijk, from my own perception, leaving Liverpool. He's got no reason to leave Liverpool. Of course, last season, in his first full season with Liverpool, Virgil van Dijk got named PFA Player of the Year. Also was named Premier League Player of the Season, reflecting on his fantastic performances. I think Virgil van Dijk has still got a contract with Liverpool until 2022. And I think he's made a total of 78 appearances in the Premier League for Liverpool so far and scored around 8 goals. There also was a period as well where no attacking player, managed to dribble past Virgil van Dijk. So that just indicates how good the player is. But I thought Virgil van Dijk, hasn't only been good at Liverpool. I also thought he was really, really good during his tenure with Southampton. He also did really, really well when he was at Celtic. Like I updated you a while back, there was reports coming out saying that Liverpool were set to offer Virgil van Dijk a new contract worth £50 million. So I think it was around a 5 or a 6 year deal. This is what it basically said. So they said reportedly they're going to consider, giving him this new contract this summer. And reportedly, he would get an increase on his wages. It'd add up to around £200,000 a week, with bonuses and image rights included. So that would then mean he would be, the highest paid centre-half in the Premier League and that. So, yeah, do you think he could join Barcelona or Real Madrid, Virgil van Dijk? But I am very, very sceptical about it. But revert back to what I said, this is stemming from Paul Ince. He thinks Liverpool are going to find it very, very hard, to convince him to stay. But like I said, Liverpool are one of the best teams in the world now, because obviously, Liverpool are on course to win their first ever Premier League title. Virgil van Dijk, I think so far at Liverpool, has won 3 major honours, of course. He won the FIFA Club World Cup with them earlier on this season. He won the Super Cup with them early on this season, and he won the Champions League at the end of last season. So he's going to be winning his 4th major honour as a Liverpool player, is Virgil van Dijk. And so too is Jurgen Klopp. He's going to win his 4th major honour as Liverpool manager, because they are going to end their 30-year drought. Like I mentioned, Liverpool only need 5 wins from their 12 games they've got remaining to clinch their first ever Premier League title. It will be their 19th overall, because they have won 18 Old First Divisions at the moment, so it means they'll be 1 behind us because we're on 20 titles at the moment. But in terms of Premier League, Premier League's Liverpool will still be 12 behind us, because we're on 13 Premier League titles. And of course, Liverpool are unbeaten in 43 Premier League games. They do play West Ham tonight, so they'll be looking to extend their unbeaten run to 44 in the Premier League. And, Liverpool have not lost at Anfield for almost 3 years. So Anfield, of course, now is a fortress. And they've recorded they have got 25 top flight victories of Liverpool out of 26 games. So they're looking to get their 26th win, tonight in the Premier League. But definitely Liverpool are the best team in the world. Liverpool are definitely the best team in the world now, without a shadow of a doubt. And like I mentioned, their last league defeat was to Manchester City last season. They've only lost 3 games in all competitions this season, and that was to Aston Villa, 5-0 in the Carabao Cup. They lost to Napoli in the group stage, and they lost their last game against Atletico Madrid, did Liverpool. But the Premier League's a priority for Liverpool. The Champions League isn't really a priority for Liverpool. Obviously, they'd like to win it again. Liverpool have got a fantastic pedigree in the Champions League. They've won it the most times out of the English clubs. They have won it 6 times of Liverpool. So probably, they'd still like to win the Champions League. Of course, they are still in the FA Cup, are Liverpool. They are into the 5th round of the competition, but, the FA Cup isn't a priority for Liverpool. Of course, in terms of the transfers, Liverpool are making plans for the summer, because Liverpool do want to make more signings in the summer transfer window. Now, obviously, they did sign Takuma Minamino for 7.25 million from Red Bull Salzburg. It got officially confirmed at the beginning of January that they had signed in. I do presume that Takuma Minamino will get more opportunities next season. His appearances are limited in the Premier League, but in the cup games, I think, he does get his opportunities in that. And analysing it, Liverpool have had a lot of injuries this season. They have had a lot of injuries this season of Liverpool. And, that's one of the main explanations why they wanted to try and make a few more signings in January, to get cover up for their injuries. Their recent absentee is Jordan Henderson. He came off injured in Liverpool's 1-0 defeat to Atletico Madrid. I think he's out until March, is Jordan Henderson. Also, too, Nathaniel Klein's still out. Shaqiri's still out. Fabinho, Chamberlain, Matip, Lovren, Mane, all of them have just recently, come back from injury for Liverpool and that. But like I mentioned on Liverpool West Ham preview yesterday, despite the fact that Liverpool have had injuries this season, it hasn't affected them in a bad way. Bringing other teams into the equation, like, Tottenham, they've got injuries. They've got Harry Kane out. They've got Heung-min Son out, I presume, for the rest of the season. Tottenham are now really, really struggling. You've got Man City, with Leroy Sané who's been out, Raheem Sterling's out still. Laporte's just come back. Mendy and that's just come back. But you can see City have, been really, really struggling. They haven't been nowhere near as good this season as they have been in the, 2 previous seasons. You've got us, we've had quite a lot of injuries and we've struggled. Chelsea have had injuries and they've been inconsistent. So that just shows you, doesn't it? And I think, a lot of clubs in the Premier League have been, very, very inconsistent this season. And, this is one of the main explanations, why Liverpool have blitzed the league, because the Premier League's been so poor. Prime example, we've enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season ever. And yet, on the other hand, we can still finish in that top 4. So it's just unbelievable, isn't it? And that. So, Liverpool have got quite a few players on their agenda, who they could sign in the summer transfer window. On the other hand as well, Liverpool are going to get rid of players. I think since Jurgen Klopp got recommended in, Liverpool have spent around £460 million on recruiting new players in. And Jurgen Klopp now is into his 5th season with Liverpool. And I think he's managed so far 251 games in all competitions. So I'll go through, some of Liverpool's transfer targets. Obviously I've been keeping up to date of what's been going on with Timo Werner now. Liverpool have been relentlessly linked with Timo Werner from RB Leipzig. I think they've been in for him for at least the last couple of months. I was reading reports the other day, and it did say, that, Julian Nagelsmann, who's the RB Leipzig manager, he'd spoken about the speculation regarding Timo Werner. It also said, he's also spoke to the player in person, about the speculation. But he says that he'll find it very, very difficult at Liverpool more than RB Leipzig. Because, Liverpool do want him, but they've got an element of concern about bringing him in. There's one problem. They won't be able to get him straight into the team, Liverpool. So maybe they won't get Timo Werner this summer. because, Liverpool have got an attacking trio of Salah, Firmino and Mane. And I think for Timo Werner to get guaranteed football week in, week out with Liverpool, they'd have to sell Salah, Firmino or Mane. But I'm very sceptical that Liverpool are going to do this summer. I think Timo Werner would cost Liverpool around maybe 50 or 60 million pounds. I think he's got a release clause of around 50 million pounds as Timo Werner. I think, it ends in April, does his £50 million release clause. Timo Werner's a very, very good player though. I think now he's into his 4th season with RB Leipzig. He's made around 115 Bundesliga appearances and scored 70 goals. I think he's on 26 goals in all competitions this season. And he's become an integral part of RB Leipzig's team. Don't forget, scored the winner against Tottenham in the Champions League last 16th in the penalty spot. Before he was at Leipzig, he was at Stuttgart. Actually became the youngest player to represent Stuttgart. So yeah, Liverpool have been relentlessly linked with Timo Werner. Of course, recent reports have also said that Liverpool have entered the race for Jude Bellingham. My club Manchester United have been in for him. Also, to Chelsea have expressed an interest in Jude Bellingham. I think from my own perception, Jude Bellingham is not ready for the Premier League as yet. I think Birmingham City probably will be determined to give him another season in the Championship. I don't think Bellingham has yet, got the minerals to come and succeed in the Premier League. He's inexperienced, isn't he? He's only the age of 16. It's his first season in the Championship. He made his senior debut at the age of 16 years and 38 days. But he has become an integral part of Birmingham's team. I think he's predominantly a number 10 is Jude Bellingham. I think he's going to sign a professional contract in the summer. Reportedly, Birmingham did quote out if they were to sell him, they'd want around £50 million. And that is a substantial amount for the player that is only at the age of 16. There's still a lot of rumours going on regarding Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. Now, obviously, my club Man United have been in for him. Maybe we may need to qualify for the Champions League, to get Jadon Sancho on the board. I think he'd suit our system more than Liverpool's. Again, I don't think he'd, I don't see how he'd fit into Liverpool's system. Similar sort of thing with Timo Werner, with Jadon Sancho again, he wouldn't get, in the team week in, week out at Liverpool, but at Man United it would be totally comparison in that. Jadon Sancho is going to cost around £100 million at least, because Borussia Dortmund, have quoted out they want at least £100 million for Jadon Sancho, but he's likely to leave Borussia Dortmund this summer. Liverpool have still expressed an interest in Kai Havertz. Well, they're still in for him. He's going to cost Liverpool over £100 million. I think he'd get in Liverpool's team because I think Liverpool are going to get rid of a couple of their midfielders this summer. So I think he'd probably get in Liverpool's team. Up until this point, he spent the entirety of his career with Bayer Leverkusen. But since he broke into their senior squad, he's become an integral part of their team. I think Leverkusen quoted out saying that they wanted around £107 million for Kai Havertz. So he's another Liverpool target. So yeah, they are going to make more signings in the summer, I do believe. Because obviously, like I mentioned, Liverpool are only one season wonders. I think, they're going to win the league or at least challenge for the next 2 to 3 years at least. I think overall, I think they're going to dominate English football now, at least for the next 10 years, are Liverpool, definitely in that. And Jurgen Klopp, we'll see out his contract with Liverpool, because he has got a contract with them until 2024. So he's got 4 years left. When obviously, he does eventually, leave Liverpool, I think he'll probably make a return back to Germany, will Jurgen Klopp, more than likely, definitely. And, like I mentioned on my video yesterday, Jurgen Klopp is the best manager, that Liverpool have had in this generation. Like I mentioned with Jurgen Klopp, he's always had the style of play, but I think since his arrival at Liverpool, his style of play has improved. But he also had a good style of play when he was at Borussia Dortmund. I think he did win a couple of titles, during his time with Borussia Dortmund. But they've had some good managers over the years of Liverpool, They've had a few bad managers. I think, they had Brendan Rodgers, he enjoyed one good season with them. Roy Hodgson wasn't so good. Kenny Dalglish wasn't so good, but he was a very, very good player. They had Benitez, who they won the Champions League under. They had Gerard Houllier, You know, don't forget they had Bob Paisley at one point, they had Bill Shankly, so they have had some good managers over the years. And I think, you know, this Liverpool team now is the best Liverpool team I've seen since, you know, they had the likes of Coutinho, Suarez and Sturridge under, you know, Brendan Rodgers' guidance. But Liverpool are going to get rid of players this summer, so some of the players they do get rid of this summer, you know, they are going to generate some money from their departures. I think they're definitely going to get rid of Nathaniel Klein. You know, Nathaniel Klein is very injury prone, sustained a lot of injuries as a Liverpool player. Doesn't get in their team enough anyway, you know, because Trent Alexander-Arnold is Liverpool's first choice. You can probably say Nathaniel Klein is good as a backup. Dejan Lovren, you know, he's another player that I think that will be moved on. Will Dejan Lovren, you know, he's a backup. He's a centre half backup. In you know, Liverpool have got a lot of centre halves in the team. You know, they've got Virgil van Dijk, Gomez, Matip. Matip may be moved on in the future, but I can't see him leaving in the summer. I also believe Adam Lallana will leave Liverpool at the end of the season, so I think he's another player that will be moved on. Georgina Wijnaldum, maybe sometime in the future, but not in the summer. You know, so Liverpool will get rid of players. I think they'll get rid of Origi. He's good as a backup option as Origi, but you know, obviously he isn't first choice. Shaqiri tends to make an impact from the sub. I think he's also another player that Liverpool will move on. So definitely Liverpool will get rid of players without a shadow of a doubt. And you know, like I said, you know, Liverpool have got the best centre half in the world through Virgil van Dijk. You know, they've got the best fullbacks, you know, through Andrew Robinson, who they only paid £3 million for. You know, they've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, who, you know, up until this point has spent the entirety of his career with Liverpool. I think he's been a Liverpool player since the age of 6 or 7 as Trent Alexander-Arnold and that. But like I mentioned, you know, Liverpool, you know, play as a unit, they play as a team, you know, they've been sensible with their recruitment, you know, they've not overpaid for players. You know, look, you know, they only paid £3 million for Andrew Robinson. You know, if they were to sell him, you know, they'd get a lot more than 3 million. You know, like I mentioned yesterday, you know, they paid 30 odd £1 million for Mohamed Salah. You know, they'd get probably quadruple that now. Even if Liverpool were, if he was still to be at Liverpool in the next 2 years' time, Salah, I still think he'd be worth more than the 30 odd million, you know, that Liverpool did pay for him from Roma. Salah hasn't been fantastic this season. You know, he hasn't really been clinical enough. He's had a lot of chances, but just hasn't had that clinical element. You know, Sadio Mane, Liverpool paid 30 odd million for him. They'd get a lot more for him if they were to sell him. Sadio Mane and Firmino have been in much better form than Salah this season. They've been clinical in front of goals. They've scored goals between them, and they have done, you know, really, really well. Salah's a good player. I think overall he's better than Mane and Firmino, but this season, I think, you know, Mane and Firmino have been better than Mohamed Salah. But Liverpool, you know, create chances. They score good goals. They're also very, very good defensively. Their football's very expansive. And I hate to say it, but they deserve to be in the position that they're in. You know, they do deserve to be in the position that they're in. And I think Liverpool are going to finish on 100 points, minimum this season, 100 points, probably more than 100 points. So in that aspect, they are going to break Manchester City's record from a couple of years ago, you know, when Manchester City did finish on 100 points. And I think Liverpool can become the Invincibles this season. You know, obviously, you know, the only team to go undefeated in the Premier League era was Arsenal, you know, back in 2004, which is around 16 years ago now. So from an Arsenal perspective, they'll be hoping Liverpool, you know, don't go unbeaten, you know, all season. But Liverpool, as it stands now, are already breaking records. But, you know, they've come close on quite a few occasions to winning the league. They was unlucky not to win it last season because they finished on 97 points. You know, they came close under the Brendan Rodgers era. You know, you do remember that. I think Liverpool lost the league in that particular season to in the game against Palace when they were 3-0 up, and you know Crystal Palace come back to 3-3. I think it was that season, if I'm right. And you know they came close under the Rafa Benitez guidance. So you know Liverpool have come close on quite a few occasions in that. And you know, what do you think now? Like I mentioned on the video yesterday, this is a quiz question. You know, do you think Liverpool's team is as good as the team that we had back in 1999? When we won the treble, because you know that's one of our greatest achievements, you know, was winning the treble back in 1999, you know, which is over 20 years ago now. Obviously, you know, Liverpool do play West Ham tonight at Anfield. Like I mentioned, I think Liverpool are going to win this game comfortably. They have got a really, really good record against West Ham. They beat West Ham 2-0 earlier on in the season. They beaten them 4-0 at Anfield last season. and I don't think Liverpool have lost to West Ham in their last 7 games. Like I mentioned, West Ham have got a lot of problems. Their club's in turmoil. Obviously, they've got a lot of problems of West Ham, a hell of a lot of problems. I think West Ham did make a mistake by getting rid of Manuel Pellegrini. I think West Ham only gave Manuel Pellegrini, was it just over a year, and then they did sack him. They sacked him last year, Manuel Pellegrini. He did win the Premier League title, don't forget, with Manchester City when he was there, but they made a mistake getting rid of Manuel Pellegrini, and they made a mistake by recommending Moyes in. Moyes is now into his second spell as West Ham manager. Is into his second spell as West Ham manager is David Moyes. Obviously, David Moyes isn't a good manager anywhere. Obviously, he struggled, as David Moyes, since he's, coming again at West Ham. He was also very, very bad at Sunderland and Real Sociedad. His record at Sunderland and Real Sociedad was disastrous. Obviously, we had him for 9 or 10 months, didn't work out. Ferguson should have never recommended him in anyway, so we should have never had David Moyes. And of course, he was at Everton. He enjoyed a good 10 years with Everton. I think the only team he's done well at in his managerial career, Moyes, is Everton. West Ham, of course, have had quite a few injuries as well. So that's another, they've had quite a few injuries. They've got Wilshere out, Fredericks out, Yarmolenko. Snodgrass has just recently come back, Fabianski. Philippe Jansen's just come back for West Ham. So they have had a lot of injuries this season. And they are facing a relegation battle. So, realistically, West Ham could go down this season. They did sign that Jared Bowen, didn't they, from Hull City. Don't really know much about him. I think he's also a former Hereford United player. But Liverpool are going to win this game comfortably against West Ham. They did win their last league game against Norwich by 1-0. They did they rode their luck a little bit. The Liverpool, they weren't fantastic in that game, but they still did get the victory. It was a goal from Mane. He came off the bench. Obviously, in the game against Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, obviously, would have been very, very disappointed. I think Jurgen Klopp, from his perspective, he was very, very disappointed. Don't forget, he got booked, did Jurgen Klopp, for ranting and raving at the referee. Atletico Madrid's goal was very fortuitous. It fell to Sol Niguez because it was a mistake from Fabinho, and he tapped it home after the opening 4 minutes. But that wasn't a great game of football, the first leg. Liverpool didn't register one single shot on target. And, they seldom do that, Liverpool, because that's only the second game they've failed to register a shot on target, under Jurgen Klopp in 251 games. The best chances they had was Salah and Henderson. I think that their chances just went wide. Didn't help with Henderson, obviously, coming off injured in the game. But I think Liverpool will definitely beat them in the second leg at Anfield. It'll be totally comparison at Anfield. Liverpool are capable, of overcoming a 1-goal deficit. Atletico Madrid are enjoying a bad season, they're like 4-4-50 in La Liga. Diego Simeone's been a long-serving manager. He's now into his 8th season with Atletico Madrid, isn't he? Or he's been there about 8.5 years or something like that. They've had injuries as well. They've had Felix, Hector Herrera, Kieran Trippier. Morata and Diego Costa have just come back for Atletico Madrid. But they are a poor team. And, since they got rid of Griezmann, I think, Atletico Madrid haven't been the same team whatsoever. And Diego Simeone, has been under pressure. But I do believe Liverpool are going to progress to the last 8 of the competition, because I think they'll beat them comfortably at Anfield. And, no team can win at Anfield, so also put that into the equation. But like I mentioned, Liverpool have built a great club. They're one of the biggest clubs in the world, just like Manchester United, because we're one of the biggest clubs in the world as well. So take that into the equation. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes, below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.